And welcome to the We Like Sportz Show. I'm your host, Ed in Columbus, holding it down. Yes, I'm wearing my orange and brown. My brownies got a big victory yesterday, but, well, I think what we'll do is we'll start out celebrating that big victory with some. This is Ed in Columbus with your We Like Sportz breaking news. That's right. The Cleveland Browns defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-10. Browns rookie quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson was very emotional after the game, even tearing up during the post-game interview. I myself was shedding tears, but not because my Brownies defeated their arch rival Pittsburgh Steelers, but rather due to the fact that, well, I will have to watch DTR playing quarterback. Yikes. The Denver Broncos have won 4 straight games after defeating the Minnesota Vikings in Week 11. Is Russell Wilson cool again? Let's give it a try. Broncos country, let's ride. Okay, maybe not so much. I don't see no future in that frontin'. And finally, the game is here. Ohio State versus Michigan this Saturday from Ann Arbor. Don't worry, the only turkey you will see is on Thursday. Remember, Coach Harbaugh is suspended. And this is Ed in Columbus with your We Like Sportz breaking news. Yes, we'll get into that later on. Ohio State, Michigan, the game, obviously, with big college football playoff implications as the 11-0 Buckeyes head into Ann Arbor to face the 11-0 Michigan Wolverines. And you know how, as I said, Michigan, I didn't say that team up north. I didn't hide. You know what? Just like Al-Qaeda and all the terrorist organizations out there, you got to say their name. Don't be afraid of your opponent or your enemy. So I will say Michigan, and I don't put those red X's over the M's. And I know they do that, and that's great tradition and everything. And I am an Ohio State graduate, so you know what? Shout out to everybody at the Ohio State University for putting up those red tape over the M's at the Ohio State University. But I am not afraid to say Michigan. I'm also not afraid to bring on my co-host, and we're going to celebrate Keith. Keith, welcome to the show.
What's going on? What's good?
What's good? Obviously, we know what's good. You see the colors I'm wearing is the colors we were celebrating yesterday on the Locked On Sports 216 pre- and post-game show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brown and orange.
How's your Victory Monday going?
It's going pretty cool. Started off a little weird, but made it through.
Okay, all right. Well, if you want to tell us if it was weird or how it was weird, feel free. And if not, no names, please. I totally understand that as well.
It's just one of them things where sometimes you outthink yourself, basically, and everything.
Oh, maybe like a Kevin Stefanski 3rd and 3 call in Seattle?
Something like that.
All right, I don't want to spoil our Victory Monday here, so we'll talk about. We'll go right into the NFL. We'll go around the NFL. We'll start it off here. All right, we'll start. Let's just start off with our favorite game. Obviously, the Cleveland Browns defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-7 or 13-10, I should say, on the lakefront yesterday, as Dorian Thompson-Robinson got it done on that final drive, going 4 of 5, but really 4 of 4. That one incompletion was a spiked football. So, like I said, Keith, what are your biggest takeaway from the Browns becoming 7-3 and taking sole ownership of second place in the AFC North?
Defense. And, defense.
Defense. Yeah, don't need to shy away from. Yeah.
Defense. And let me see. How can I also say Kevin stuck to the script until he needed to do what he needed to do to win the game.
Yeah. That was a big key, I think, as well. Like, it kind of reminds me of watching Rocky 2. And for all those people that haven't watched Rocky 2, it was when after he fought Apollo in the first fight, the second fight, he had that blinded eye and he couldn't fight southpaw. Rocky was a lefty. So Mick, his manager, told him to fight right-handed. And he waited all fight. Keep waiting. He's getting bludgeoned by Apollo. And then when Mick said go time, that's when Rocky went back to southpaw and then obviously got the victory. And that's kind of reminded me of yesterday what happened in Cleveland. Yeah. Run the ball, play smart. Not exactly the most aesthetically pleasing watching as a fan. Watching screen passes go for negative yards on first down. Not exactly what you want, but But it was only one turnover, so we limited the turnovers, and we played smart football. We played field possession, field game with Bojorquez. And it got the job done. And like you said, defense. Marsha, Brady Bunch, defense on the Cleveland Browns.
Yes, sir. And also, you got to look at the fact that he probably really couldn't try to air it out like he wanted to because he had his 4th and 5th offensive tackles in the game. And that is kind of a weakness if you look at dealing with T.J. Watt and Highsmith on the edges.
Yeah, it's that doesn't sound like bode well when it comes to trying to outmaneuver them when it comes. So what we did was, like you said, stay away from them, kind of work the game plan and try to play safe. And safe is smart. Smart is staying away from them, and that's what the Cleveland Browns did yesterday.
And if the game is within reach, go get it at the end.
Yeah, that's exactly, and that's what they did. It's funny because that final drive, there were a lot of drop passes by Njoku. He made up for it. He atoned for his drop. But it was funny because, like I was telling you in the post game yesterday, when we got the ball back with, I think it was a minute 28, I actually had a quiet confidence that we were going to go down there and get that field goal and win. It didn't seem like the old new Browns. I call them the old new Browns since '99 would have lost that game. But there's just something different about this team, and maybe having the special teams and just maybe Kevin Stefanski getting the players to play harder. But I don't know, just something felt different yesterday. And hey, we're celebrating today because of it.
I think with this team is they're now learning and believing that they can win.
That's a big statement right there. I know it's a cliche, learning how to win, but learning how to win is also not messing up, not making those, doing too much and then compounding the problem and making it worse. And that's what, I think the Browns, because they had a lot of 3 and outs, they had a lot of things, and they didn't make it worse. They just punted the football, played good defense, and kept it going. But we got a comment here from the Back It Up Binge podcast. Afternoon, gentlemen. Well,
good afternoon.
Good afternoon to yourself as well. Feel free to comment some more and tell us why we're wrong. And
yes, sir. Hit us up. Hit us up. If you want our autographs, let us know.
Yeah, free autographs. It is that season. I will give free autographs. Maybe I just need to give one autograph, but we'll see.
What's the next game on the list?
On the next game look at this. I love it. Keith getting there. All right. Well, we're going to go up to Detroit, where the Lions came back from a 12-point deficit to beat the Bears 31-26. Fields, in his first game back from his injury, had over 100 yards rushing. Unfortunately, he can't play defense, and that's why the Lions got the victory. What are your takeaway from that game?
I just always want to say this. 2 things. 2 things. 1, the possible Cleveland Browns Detroit Lions Super Bowl is in full effect. 2, Detroit Lions football. Like they used to do with the basketball.
I was saying, that's funny. I was coming home, picked up my son from basketball practice today, and we were talking about the Pistons. They got 11 straight losses or whatever like that. And I said to him, I said, Detroit basketball.
But for real, shout out to the Lions, because it looked grim for them, for real. For the Lions game yesterday kind of reminded you of the Browns and Ravens game, where they literally trailed a whole lot in that game.
Yes.
But came through in the very last minute or however they won it.
Yeah. And
won the game. Shout out to the Lions. Because a lot of people don't realize, you can look at it and be like, oh, yeah, they lost. They beat the Chicago Bears. But Chicago is a different team when Justin Fields plays well. They're a whole different squad when Justin Fields is doing his thing. And it's also a rivalry game, too.
Oh, big time. Yes.
Let's not get that twisted either. So,
yeah. Well,
shout out to Detroit.
Yeah, shout out to Detroit. Yeah, absolutely. And first time since, I believe, 1969 that the Browns,
and Detroit
have both won 7 of their first 10. Yes,
Yes,
So
and
way to go.
Detroit has got the best record in the league, right? Well, not the best record in the league, but they're 8-2.
8-2, yeah, but leading their division, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're going to move on to Cheeseland, where the Chargers lost to the Packers 23-20. Jordan Love with a late TD. Herbert had 2 touchdowns, but once again, we as we talked about it in the postgame show on Locked On Sports 216, Herbert, puts up these numbers, but it's not equating into victory. So, what are your thoughts on that game?
Justin Staley better be getting his resumes ready. That's all I got to say.
That seat is very, very hot. Absolutely.
Also, and real quick, shout out to Jordan Love for his first 300-yard passing game as a Green Bay Packer.
Yes.
But Staley better be getting his resume ready.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hot, let's go down to Miami. Welcome to Miami. Well, the Dolphins welcomed the Raiders and beat them 20-13 yesterday. Dolphins, Jalen Ramsey getting the picks and everything like that. And obviously Tyreek Hill doing his thing with 146 yards and a touchdown. So the Cheetah is definitely on the move in South Beach.
Good win for the Dolphins. Now, the question for the Dolphins is, can they beat the big boys?
Yeah, that's
in the AFC. They can beat all the middlings and the dregs, but can they beat the Buffaloes? And really, the Buffaloes ain't even there right now. You know what I'm saying? Can they beat the Ravens?
Yeah.
Can they beat the Chiefs? Can they beat the
Browns?
The Browns. Can they beat the Jaguars? Can they beat the Steelers?
Yeah.
Because they can, against all the middling teams and everything. Don't get me wrong, also. Las Vegas, excuse me, sorry. I don't want to get canceled. Las Vegas has played with a renewed vigor under Pierce.
Yes, their new head coach, yes.
Yes,
well. Here's another game that, speaking of we don't want to get canceled, the Commanders and not the former Washington football team, former blank. We're not going to call that Giant. Yeah, Redskin potatoes. Anybody for?
Don't you say that?
I said Redskin potatoes. Didn't say that. Okay. All right. Well, Giants, Commanders. Well, they didn't look in a commanding mood yesterday because they lost 31-19 to the New York Football Giants. Sam Howell, 3 picks for Washington, and Tommy DeVito, not related to Danny DeVito, but he had 3 touchdowns.
Ron Rivera is about to be doing the Super Bowl shuffle out of Washington soon.
I think so.
We are the Bears shuffling crew. Shuffling out of Washington is what I do. Because
we're gonna clip this up, Keith. You feeling it on We Like Sportz Show.
You cannot lose to New York Giants at home.
No, you can't.
Especially with no Saquon Barkley and no Daniel Jones. You cannot. And I'm going to be honest. Remember what I said a week ago? When this will probably be Bieniemy shot to be the coach very soon?
Yeah,
it's coming.
You better sleeping with Bieniemy.
It's coming, Yeah, because he's sleeping with the enemy. You keep losing like that.
Wake up time. You're fired, Riverboat Ron.
The Super Bowl shuffle is out of Washington coming on.
Well, let's go down the coast a little bit from Washington, where the Cowboys get a commanding 33-10 over the Carolina Panthers. What I found cool in this game, Deron Bland with his 4th pick 6. This ties the NFL record. Last person to do it was on the Eagles in 1993. Do you know who that was?
Who was it?
Eric Allen.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. It seemed like Dallas last 2 years, first it was Diggs, and then Diggs passed over the pick 6 touch.
Yeah.
To my guy. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, they're getting it done.
How about them Cowboys? Cowboys 7-3 too.
Oh, yes, they are 7-3. Well, the Panthers dropped to 1-9. Now, here's a good question. So, obviously, they got Bryce Young, who had another Bryce Young game, 16 of 29, 123 yards, a touchdown, and interceptions. But do you get him a weapon maybe with their first pick and trade it down and maybe get Marvin Harrison Jr. to Carolina?
That's a possibility. They would figure out something because,
yeah,
whoever made the decision to take Bryce Young
over
Jay Stroud is kind of shaking in their boots right now. I wonder who made that decision.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't turn out to be, well, as of now, I would say it's the right one. But let's go down to another exciting game. We're going further down the coast, but we'll hit up the Tennessee Titans 14, the Jacksonville Jaguars 34, Trevor Lawrence with 2 TDs, and the Titans are, I would say they're kind of done.
Let's see. Will Levis going through the Ricky Blues right now.
Yeah, he had a better second half yesterday. Yeah. Had 2 touchdowns, but overall, I'd say
honestly, who watched that game?
Nobody. Nobody. Even
Jacksonville. Honestly, Jacksonville is supposed to win that game.
Yeah, they're now 7-3. Yeah.
And Peterson is pissed off with that squad.
Yeah. I think Jacksonville is one of the for 7-3 in having their franchise quarterback, because Trevor Lawrence is there. Unlike the Browns, who are 7-3 without Deshaun, it's like they are the most boring 7-3. Like there's something
yeah, it is. I mean, hey, it is what it is. But they were supposed to win that game.
Yeah, and well, they
really see Tennessee beating Jacksonville.
Could this be Mike Vrabel's last year? Could this be Mike in Tennessee?
No, they're gonna.
They're 3-7 now. They're 3-7. So
yeah, but you gotta look at it. Look at the dynamics. Your quarterback was hurt, and this team, everybody knew coming in that this would kind of be a starting over year for Tennessee, if you think about it.
But here's the thing. So you got a rookie quarterback in Will Levis, and maybe obviously you got Hopkins that you brought in. Obviously he's not a long-term answer, but their defense has been eroded over the last couple of years, and that's the biggest issue I think in Tennessee is they need to fix that defense.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But moving on to a brighter spot in the NFL. And I'm not talking about the Arizona Cardinals, because they went to Houston to play the Texans and lost 21-16 in a more competitive game than what it was built out to be. But the Texans now are 6-4 and in the playoff hunt. CJ Stroud did throw 3 picks, did throw 2 touchdowns, 336 yards. So he kind of made up for that. Kyler Murray, once again, 20 of 30, 214 yards, a touchdown. Did have 51 yards rushing. Obviously, there's not much help in Arizona. That team's not good.
Yeah, and it's the second game back since the surgery. So
yeah.
And plus, who really watched?
Once again, nobody.
Nobody watched that game. Nobody. And I mean, honestly, Arizona is probably playing for Maserati Marv too.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, either Maserati Marv or Mr. Will.
Yeah,
Mr. Caleb Williams. It's one of the two.
Yeah, if they move on from Murray, which I could see them doing that, honestly. Let's go to the Bay Area, where Baker and the Bucks lost to Purdy and the Niners 27-14. Purdy he pulled the three magic number out there, because he had 3 touchdowns and 333 yards passing. Looks like the 49ers have fixed their ills here.
Excellent pick 4 number in the pick 4, by the way. But for real. And you got to think about this. San Francisco did that against a pretty decent Tampa Bay defense.
Yes. Yeah, that's
a pretty decent defense. And it looked like all the ills that they were going through with the injuries and all that is solved. Then you also added Chase Young also to that defensive line.
Yeah, the rich get richer. The rich get richer, it seems.
Yes.
Well, here's a game that we picked on the Locked On Sports 216, and I went with Buffalo. You went with the New York Jets. I believe it's 32-6 or something like that. I didn't even put the final score because it got ugly. But yeah, it looks like the Bills. They say their Bills are back. I just think the Jets had a letdown game. Now they go in with Tim Boyle over Zach Wilson at quarterback. I think the dam is broken in for the Jets.
You know what kills me about some of these NFL teams, and I'm gonna be honest, and a lot of these teams, even ours, I'm gonna say this, even ours, not to be critical, sat on their ass and they should have signed Carson Wentz as a backup.
Yeah, I mean,
especially in a year where the Jets are in the same situation the Browns were in, where everything had to work.
Yeah,
everything had to work. It wasn't no 7-10, and it looked like it might be worse than 7-10 because now you done benched your Wonder Boy draft pick, who this is not the first time he's been benched.
Nope.
This is about the third or the fourth. He's like Jason and stuff on Friday the 13th. Where
you just how many? There's a million. Yeah, right. And
now you bringing in Boyle as your quarterback now. Sailor's days might be numbered.
He might be. I'll tell you what, a game that was competitive. Like I said, I don't know who was watching it unless you're. But Rams.
A-Rod will probably be home for Christmas.
That's probably right.
Won't be no comeback.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. 2024.
There you go. Rams 17, Seahawks 16. Seahawks choked away. The Rams overcame a 10-point deficit, so Matthew Stafford getting it done. Seahawks dropped to 6-4. Rams go to 4-7. They're not doing anything anyways. But the Seahawks, you got to, for a team that wants to stay competitive in the playoff race, that was not a good. And now they got swept by the Rams again this year, so that not a bad loss for them.
Very bad loss. And if I'm not mistaken, I need to look at something real quick.
Okay.
Real quick. Let me just go back to yesterday.
Okay.
Seattle, LA Rams. Let's see.
Yes.
Let's go. Oh, no, not that. That's okay. Let's go here to the stats. Go here to the Rams. Oh, Carson Wentz didn't come in.
Oh, okay.
Matt Stafford that got hurt in the game, I think, if I'm mistaken.
Oh, okay.
And Geno Smith that got hurt in the game too. Geno returned too. But that's a crucial loss for Seattle. Very crucial loss. I mean, what?
Yeah, well, maybe, like I said,
but I wasn't impressed with Seattle.
No, I wasn't. No, they're not. There's Geno Smith.
If you go by common opponents, Seattle done played. They played Baltimore and got dusted.
Yeah.
Then Seattle played Cleveland, and due to lapse in judgment and situational play calling, they came ahead. Let's just say that. Yeah. They got gifted to win. Well, not gifted, but I mean, just saying, it was just a mess.
It shouldn't have happened, Kevin.
No, Kevin, it shouldn't have. But Kevin, we forgive you.
But we are.
But I don't know about Seattle for real.
No, they're.
And Geno has came back to earth.
Yeah. Well, I think we're giving that game too much time. Moving on.
Giving it too much energy.
Yeah, too much. Broncos 21, Vikings 20 on the Sunday night football game. Now the Vikings got their 5-game win streak snapped. Broncos on a 4-game winning streak. Browns head to Denver this Sunday. So Russell Wilson looks like he's somewhat getting better. I don't know, but I mean, we'll see.
Well, to be honest, Russ wasn't a problem this year.
No, not this year.
Not this year. He wasn't a problem this year. The problem was that defense in them first 5 games. That was the problem. And now, I'm about to say Seattle. Oh my God.
We got to get off that. We got to get out of it. Done with Seattle.
Canceled. And here it is. I'm saying Seattle when I seen Sierra.
Okay. Hey, now.
Denver outfit.
Nothing wrong with that.
The game. It sure isn't. But Denver's defense, since that 70-point debacle against Miami, have been lights out. And Mr. O'Connell, don't never put your quarterback in harm's way like you did early in the game. Because, I thought Josh Dobbs was done because he got stuck.
Yeah, that was not a good predicament to be in.
He got woke up.
He did. Obviously, there was a Thursday night game that obviously the Bengals lost the Ravens 34-20. Obviously, we know Burrow's out for the year. Mark Andrews out for the year. That only helps us, our Browns.
Happy trails, Joe Burrow and Mark Andrews. See you in 2024. For real, for real. I hope both of y'all make swift recoveries and be ready to play next year. For real, for real. Because what people don't understand is I don't like to see people get hurt. For real, for real. I might hate the team. I hate the Bengals and I hate the Ravens.
Yes.
You notice it gets more hoarser and hoarser.
I could tell. I could definitely feel it. Yeah.
But with that being said, I don't like to see people lose key players to injuries, especially coming from our place because we done lost Chubb. We done lost Watson.
Sean. I mean, the
Sean
Chubb.
Our starting right tackle, Conklin.
Yeah.
And we done lost Jedrick Wills for 4 weeks.
Yes.
So get healthy, fellas. See you next year and stuff. And, have a happy holidays.
Well, you did say a key word in your description there. You said swift recovery. Speaking of swift, we have the Eagles and the Chiefs tonight on Monday Night Football preview. Now, I hear Taylor has to make up a concert because I guess somebody had died at one of her concerts or whatever like that down in Buenos Aires or one of those. So she's doing a makeup concert tonight. So she will not actually be at the game, I hear. But so we got Eagles and Chiefs. Yeah.
She not gonna be there for the Kelseys?
No.
Wait a minute. Are their parents still gonna meet?
I hope so. What will we ever do if they don't?
Wow, because I thought all them was all supposed to meet, and I thought Kanye was supposed to be there to introduce them all, and everything is just gonna be a kumbaya moment in the middle of the rematch of the.
They're just gonna have to play football. They're just gonna have to play football tonight. What do you see happening?
Wow, I see the Chiefs winning, honestly.
Okay.
I do. I see the Chiefs on because Philadelphia hasn't been lights out this year, but honestly, for them not to be lights out this year, and I had this discussion with my brother, Romeo Rodriguez.
Shout out to Romeo Rodriguez. Shout out.
He's a big Philly fan, and I told him a week or two ago, they haven't really necessarily been lights out, but they do what it takes to win the game. But that luck is going to run out tonight.
Okay. Well, like I said, I picked the Eagles winning 27-24. You had the Chiefs winning 27-24. So that'll be a fun little.
Andy Reid loves sticking it to Philadelphia anytime he can. And also, you got Mahomes. You can never count Mahomes out. I mean, Mahomes done had his receiving core. If you take Kelsey out the receiving core, this has been the worst they've ever been.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they're still 7-2.
Makes you sick. Makes me sick.
They're still 7-2. Think about if he'd had DeAndre Hopkins or somebody.
Let's say we did, because I mean,
just saying, because this is what kills me about teams and stuff like that. And I'll say this, and people will say, like here in Cleveland, we got a problem with that, where people say, "Oh, we don't need that guy." The hell you don't. The hell you don't.
The hell you don't.
Think about this. Can you name a receiver to make catches besides Elijah Moore and Amari Cooper? And I'm not talking about tight ends. They don't count. And I ain't talking about the other running backs. They don't count. But if heaven forbid, if something happened to Moore Cooper, we're in trouble.
That's an understatement.
For real. And I told some people that before the preseason that we should have went out and tried to get Hopkins. And it's like, no, we don't need him. I'm like,
we got the kicker. Now we should have got the wide receiver as well. So
sometimes you got to make sure you get many corners turned. Of course, you ain't gonna be able to get all the corners turned,
right?
But you got to get as many as you can.
Yeah. Well, Keith, I appreciate you. We went around the NFL, but now we're gonna pay some bills. I guess it's time to pay the bills.
Already.
Pay the bills. So that means it's Dubby time. If you want an energy drink that you can mix at home,
do the Dubby.
Yeah, do the Dubby that you can mix at home that doesn't give you the jitters or make you crash. If so, then try Dubby. Their products have no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin. I said it right, but I don't want it in my products. They don't have it, so that's a good thing. No fillers and no artificial colors. Dubby has great flavors such as Dragonade, Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dub Sludge. So head on over to Dubby.gg and use the coupon code We Like Sportz to save 10% off your order. So you want to do that. And also, you want to check out the Snooze You Lose podcast. Uncle Joe the Black Bookie, he'll get you set with a Sunday Snooze You Lose pick of the week. So who doesn't want to add more coin to their purse and also have fun while they're watching that coin get biggity bank high, stack it. So you want to do that. So, and Titan Nutrition, you want a good protein product, then head on over to titan.net / We Like Sportz. Titan Nutrition, they got some good products over there. So you want to check that out. And also at We Like Sportz, we have the We Like Sportz PC.com. So head on over there. Great articles like Keith when he has his top 10. So that'll be on WeLikeSportsPC.com. So head on over to our website. Get the clicks over there. We like that. And also head on over to at We Like Sportz PC on X, formerly Twitter. We're over 3,000 followers right now. So congratulations to us for over the 3K. Yeah, so that's what's up. So good stuff for us. So doing good things right there. So let's talk about this because let's talk some college football. Can't get the so what we're gonna do is Michigan beat Maryland this past week, got 1,000 victories. Now, Keith, I checked this out a little bit. I did a little investigation.
Okay,
found out that not all of the Michigan Wolverines victories were against colleges. Some of them were against high schools, Keith. High schools. They beat Ann Arbor. There was some of them. And I didn't do all of the investigation. I happened to get on Twitter and see
high schools.
High schools. They beat high schools.
Isn't that an NCAA violation?
I think you might be right. But so they got 1,000 victories. So I think what the caveat here is they have 1,000 victories. That may be true. You have 1,000 victories over high schoolers. Maybe I don't know how far they go back, but did they beat Helen Keller? Did they beat the Elephant Man? Did they beat Oompa Loompas? Who are we talking about here?
That's
So there's your 1,000 victories. Hail to the victors when you're beating high schoolers. So there we go.
The hell with the victors.
Thank you, Keith. Well, speaking of the other side of the game, we have the Ohio State Buckeyes, like Gus Johnson would say, the world famous Ohio.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. So let's see. They routed the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Harrison got his touchdown. McCord looked good, 20 of 30 passing. Travion Henderson, healthy, running the football with that speed burst. So obviously they were going to play high noon, that the time that it always should be played, noon on Saturday. What do you see happening in Ann Arbor?
Travion Henderson would be a difference maker.
Yeah.
With his speed and his breakaway ability and everything. And Travion, you won't really be able to key on Marvin Harrison as much, but one of those other receivers has to step up. Because if I'm Michigan, I'm just saying this, if I'm Michigan, I'm double teaming Harrison. He's not going to beat me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
on the outside, I'm just saying And all Ohio State needs to go along with Travion Harrison is for Kyle McCord just to be competent on Saturday.
Yeah, I agree with that. No turnovers,
No
nothing.
turnovers,
Yeah,
and some good crisp throws, and try to involve the tight end too a lot too.
Cade Stover, yes, the farmer Cade Stover. And you know what was nice last game against the Golden Gophers was they got him involved a lot during the game plan. And I think that's what they need to get back to because it opens up the middle of the field. Then with Harrison, you can, like I said, he's on the outside. He sometimes comes in and can play on the inside. You got Emeka Ibuka, you got Tate, I mean, Julian Fleming. I mean, the Buckeyes are obviously well loaded with talent at the wide receiver position. So it'll be fun to see what they do there. But like you said, I think the key to the game is running the football with Travion, stopping Blake Corum and the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, they have to control the line of scrimmage against Michigan. The last 2 years that Ohio State has lost,
they got beat in the trenches.
And now last year they got beat in the trenches. Then on top of that, allowed too many big plays.
Yeah. Well, Jim knows this is his second season, and I think that last year the defense got better, but they were still susceptible to giving up the big plays. You saw that against Georgia in the semifinal game. But this year they really
year they've been lights out this year for real. And I would say if you have to, you got to eliminate Corum. You got to eliminate.
I think that's number one. I think that's number one.
Make McCarthy try to be a superstar.
I agree. And he's got a little injury. I don't know. He's banged up a little bit.
Yeah. Make him try to turn into Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Yes. I would agree with that. Now, it's going to be obviously a little bit different because you don't have Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines. I think does that take, to me as a Buckeye, that doesn't take anything away from me because I don't know. I mean, besides seeing Jim during the game and they'll pan in on him, during different games and talk about it, I don't really care. I care what the players do on the field, more or less.
Yes. Ohio State has to get this win. They have to.
I know. I definitely
paramount. They gotta get this win. Plus, they get this win, I probably won't speak to my son until Christmas.
Is that a good thing?
Well, it is what it is. It is bragging rights.
Okay.
It ain't nothing beautiful than having a gloat. Because I'm gonna tell you what he did to me last year.
Tell the world, Keith.
Now, I did an Ohio State pregame and an Ohio State postgame. Do you know during the Ohio State postgame, I didn't even log on and I had about 5 comments on my board, all from him. Gee, what happened? Don't look too good for the Buckeyes, huh? You know what I'm saying? So it's time to return the favor, Ryan Day.
Thank you.
Don't make this difficult, Ryan. You can do it. Plus, hey, if you don't, you already know what it might be.
Well,
unfortunately. But I don't even see Ohio State moving off of them for real. Even if they do lose to me.
No, I don't think so. Because next year you're coming back with Kyle McCord. They got to get a new quarterback next year. It's very favorable. Next year, the Buckeyes are going to win next year. I would think so. Yeah. So you're not going to get rid of them.
No, you're not going to get rid of them. Plus 38-2 in the Big Ten.
I know. My goodness. I mean, exactly. Plus all the top recruits that he gets. You don't want to lose that. I don't know. I think it's childish. I understand
and
people
plus,
are emotional.
Who would you hire?
Thank you. I guess you'd have to keep Ryan Hartline. Hartline again. I don't know. You don't want to lose that.
Ryan Hartline is good with the receivers,
but I'm not trusting him to be my
head guy.
I know, right? Right.
No,
I'm with you.
No.
Well, major injury. Speaking, we'll talk about I want to talk about the implications of the college football playoff because we had Florida State play this week and they got past their opponent 58-13. But they lost Travis Jordan, their quarterback, to a horrific injury on his ankle. That obviously hurt them because Washington passed them in the AP poll. At least now the playoff poll comes out tomorrow. But number 1 is Georgia. Number 2, Ohio State. Ohio State passed Michigan. Michigan's now number 3. Washington 4. Florida State 5. Oregon 6. And this is the AP poll. This AP poll I'm talking about right now.
Well, truthfully, the only poll counts is the one
that really matters is tomorrow. I get it.
It's tomorrow. It is what it is. Because I look at Ohio State as number 2 anyway. Even though
I agree,
I'm still wondering how in the hell did you drop the Buckeyes the number one, but yet the Buckeyes done played the most difficult schedule of all 5 of those teams.
Right. I will say one thing. Watching Georgia play recently, now they went to Rocky Top and crushed Tennessee, and they got Brock Bowers back. They're looking like their quarterback play with Carson Beck. I mean, they're looking like the number one team. But I don't know how. But
they have to face Bama next month
in the SEC championship game. That is set. Yeah,
they gotta face Bama, and Bama is like a hurricane.
They're looking good.
Think about it.
Real good.
After they benched Milroe that one game, after that they have been lights out. And
you're not lying.
Be surprised. I'm telling y'all, because really nobody's really seen Alabama too much.
No.
This year, if you really think about it, but Jalen Milroe, that dude is the truth.
He's a baller.
Quarterback, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
So
Georgia got their hands full.
I tell you what's going to be a good one now. Washington went up and played Oregon State in a nice rainy game. That was
actually a good game.
That was a good game, yeah. So obviously it looks like another collision course for Washington and Oregon in the Pac-12 title game. I think Oregon is probably the best team in the country. One-loss team, but they might be the best team in the country. They might be.
I think Oregon is better than Washington.
I do too. Their defense is a little bit. I agree. But
Lanning,
their head coach Dan Lanning.
Situational football, Mr. Lanning.
Yeah,
situational football might get you in the college playoff this year.
Yeah, but I think he'll have redemption. I mean, if he beats Washington and there's another, because I think Florida State might lose. They got to play Louisville in the ACC title game, and like you said, I think if Alabama defeats, I mean, there's going to be some upsets.
No Jordan Travis.
Yeah,
that's going to be tough.
Do you think if Ohio State goes up to Michigan and say they lose a close one, do you think both of them could get in like last year?
Washington would have to lose.
Well, they would lose to Oregon in the Pac-12 title game.
Georgia would have to lose.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Almost everybody will have to follow suit and lose with Ohio State.
Okay, well, I mean, it's happened before. Look at 2008 when
it's happened before. But if Ohio State is number one in those computer rankings, I mean, it's in those rankings, they might not fall as hard.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, they might fall to 4 then.
They might fall to 4.
Yeah.
It might fall to 4 because you got to think about it. If you lose to Michigan, up in Michigan.
I know, it's a close game too.
And it's close.
Yeah.
The committee is not going to look too far bad at Ohio State.
Yeah, because even last year, they lost bad at home last year to Michigan.
Yeah, they got blew out at home last year.
And they still got in.
Still forgave them.
Yeah, I mean, for real.
And think about this also. You have to go about all the schedules.
Yeah.
Ohio State,
that's a great point.
Ohio State had to go to Notre Dame. They had to go to Wisconsin, and winning in Notre Dame and winning in Wisconsin ain't easy.
No,
at all. Especially winning in Notre Dame. Ask USC.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, you're right.
And Notre Dame, and they had to play. Who else did Ohio State play? Play somebody else.
They played Penn State at home. That was a good win.
They had to go. They had to play Penn State at home, and now you got to go to Michigan on the road this year.
Yeah.
And if they come close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Say it's a field goal game or whatever.
It's a field goal game decided in the last minute or whatever.
Right.
They will most likely forgive them.
I would think. I would hope. Because let's be real. Ohio State, hey, another thing too, Ohio State has big dollars. They're like the New York Yankees of they bring the eyeballs and they bring yes, they do.
Yes.
Well, here's a question. I think if Ohio State wins and say Harrison gets a touchdown, is he your Heisman winner?
That's a good question.
Or do you think if Michael Penix beats Oregon in the Pac-12?
Honestly, whoever wins that Oregon
between Bo Nix and Michael Penix,
game in the Pac-12.
Okay, will be, and then Harrison will finish second.
Harrison will have to have a hell of a game. He have to catch for like 200 something yards.
He'll have to pull a Jackson Smith and Jigba in the Rose Bowl.
Yes, he would against Michigan. Now, if you do that against
Michigan, yeah, then hell, here's the Heisman Trophy now.
Michigan,
they'll give it to him on Saturday.
Gonna be riding all the way to New York or wherever they do the Heisman Award at.
Right, they just give it to him in Ann Arbor then on Saturday. Yes. Just give him the trophy there.
Yes, but if he has a big game against Michigan, he has a shot. But I think more than likely it'll probably be Bo Nix or Michael Penix.
Penix Jr. Yep. Okay. Well, that's fair.
Whoever wins that game. But usually the Heisman be done way before the Pac-10 championship, don't it?
No, actually, I think it's the December 13th. I think it's after the SEC. I think they do the title games, and then I think it's that Saturday after. I think.
Well, if they do the title games and stuff like that,
then I think
Harrison will have. Because truthfully, let's be real. If Ohio State beat Michigan, they'll probably play Iowa, and ain't nobody gonna really pay attention to that game for real. Nobody's gonna really pay attention to that. And but if he light it up against Michigan, and they really the only show you're watching at 12 o'clock,
then
that's gonna be a hard thing to go after.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. So, well, I think we hit anything else in college you want to hit on. I mean, I think we hit it. We got Heisman. We got college football playoff. We got Ohio State, Michigan, which is the biggest thing. So, yeah, I think I love college football. I think this time of year is the greatest thing because, one thing about like the NFL is it all plays itself out. But one thing about college football is there's still some politicking going on. There's still, hey, even with the college football playoff, it's like, well, do you get one loss team or do you take this? And there's something that, maybe it's not right. It's in sports should be more objective than subjective. But there's something about that subjectivity about college football. I like the drama.
Yes. Now, let me ask you this. How do you feel about them next year going to 12 teams instead of 4?
Here's the thing. I think it waters it down so much because then you're going to have, look, if USC, for instance, has like 5 losses this year, they come to the Big Ten next year. Okay. Say they lose to, they got to go to at Michigan and say they lose to Wisconsin at home. Okay. Say they have 2 or 3 losses. They're probably getting into this 12-team playoff. And I just think, I don't know. I think maybe 8 would have been maybe the tops as far as I would have gone. 12's too many.
I would have probably gone 6.
6. I like 6 and have the 2 with the bye then.
Yeah, and I had the 2 top with the bye and everything. I would have went 6. Okay. I don't know, 12. I would have went 6 or 8.
I think it diminishes the one. Look, before with the BCS, when Ohio State basically beat Miami in 2000, when you had the BCS, you had to go undefeated basically, and that was a little bit okay. So now I like teams that schedule hard teams. So so I'm like, I don't want to punish you for having a hard schedule. And I think with this format, with the 4 and like I said, even 6, I think is even better. Is you can still have a hard schedule. Maybe you have 1 or 2 losses and still have a chance to get in. But this 12 team, it's just too
12. You actually dealing with teams outside the top 10.
Yeah, like I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
And now you're gonna see a point next year where, like you said, a 7-4 team gonna be championing that they should have got in.
And they might get in depending on who they are.
Yes.
I
but USC wouldn't have got into 12 this year. Not with that defense.
Not this year. No.
Not with that defense.
That defense. Oh my.
That defense is horrendous. And to be honest, that defense is worse than Colorado's defense.
Hey, that defense would have lost to those high school teams Michigan was playing.
Yes. That defense would lose to St. Ed's right now.
Yeah, well, St. Ed's is pretty good from what I
am. Yeah. Also, shout out to St. Ed's.
Shout out. Yeah, Glenville as well.
Avon. Nice. All them schools. And Chardon. Up here,
okay.
Yeah. Also, you got Hilliard something
Bradley.
Hilliard Bradley, who they play St. Ed's Friday.
Yeah, because Hilliard Bradley defeated Upper Arlington in double overtime to
Let me ask you something. How many schools what is Hilliard? A city or
no? Okay, so Hilliard. Okay, one thing about Columbus is you have your suburbs: Dublin, Hilliard, Pickerington, Gahanna, Grove City. All the suburbs in Columbus, they all have like 3 high schools. Like Hilliard has 3 high schools. You have Hilliard Davidson, Hilliard Darby, Hilliard Bradley. Pickerington has Pickerington North, Pickerington Central, and they're getting another one. Westerville has Westerville North, Westerville South, Westerville Central.
Yeah.
Dublin has Dublin Kaufman, Dublin Jerome, and Dublin Scioto. All the suburbs. It's just like in Cleveland how you have like North Olmsted, Brunswick. But in Columbus, each suburb has 3 high schools.
Damn, them suburb populations that big?
Well, each suburb is like 40,000 probably. Yeah, they're big. They're big suburbs. We don't have as many suburbs as the Cleveland area. But, but the suburbs we have around 270 because basically, we got Columbus and everything's around it. Dublin, Hilliard, this, that. Everything that's around Columbus is a big suburb. So we have like maybe 15 to 20 suburbs. You guys have like 50 to,
you got like 50 to 60.
60 suburbs. And that's the difference. That's the difference.
Okay, I got you. Oh, okay. I was wondering, I was like, Hilliard. I'm like, damn.
Hilliard Bradley is the newest one of the Hilliards too. The Jaguars.
Really? Wow. Man, interesting. I remember Hilliard Davidson. My son.
Hilliard Davidson won 2006 and like 2008. They beat Glenville.
They beat Glenville in the state championship.
They went for 2 and beat them or did something. Yeah.
They ran the same play.
That's the wing tee. That wing tee. Yep.
Damn, I hate that damn offense. They ran that same play. I'm gonna tell you something. A year or 2 before, because Hilliard Davidson played Mentor in the state.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep.
Yes. Hilliard Davidson couldn't stop Mentor, but the problem was Mentor couldn't stop Hilliard Davidson. Yeah. And then at the end, Hilliard Davidson ran that same goddamn play.
That's what they do.
That they ran against Glenville a year or 2 later.
If it makes you feel better, my alma mater, the Grove City Greyhounds, and their biggest rival is Hilliard Davidson, beat Hilliard Davidson this year in the playoffs. So yeah.
Good. They still run that wing tee stuff?
No, the Hilliard Davidson still kind of different variations, not quite as much. But
probably a little more passing now.
A little bit more, but they're not so good at it. So they should maybe go back to them.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to 1950s football.
And it's crazy about that game. Glenville should have blew them away.
They should have. They had the better athletes.
Oh, my God. They should have blew them away. They should have blew them away. And I'm going to tell you, that was the longest ride from Canton ever.
Could imagine. Ugh.
It was cold. It seemed like when Hilliard Davidson went up ahead, it seemed like the temperature got 20 degrees colder after that. It was like, that was an ugly day. Day. And to lose it like that. But shout out to all the high schools that are competing in the state semifinals. For real. Shout out to all y'all.
I think Ohio football, especially high school football, in the playoff system, it's one of the best in the country, without a doubt.
Ohio football is the best.
I agree. I mean, the Texas people are going to argue with us, but
of course,
whatever.
You're going to have Texas and Florida argue with us in California, but Ohio is tops.
Tops, yeah. And we're better than Pennsylvania, so that big 33 or whatever they talk about. Let's go. Let's do something. I got a bunch of sports, but I was going to pick baseball. And let's go basketball. I want to talk about our Cleveland Cavaliers. They beat the Denver Nuggets yesterday. Keith, talk about that. Did you watch it or did you pay attention?
I watched a little bit. I watched the second half primarily. Okay. And the Cavs really had their way with the Nuggets for real. Jokic was out for a while. He had 5 fouls early. Okay. He had 5 fouls in the third quarter.
Yikes.
And the Nuggets just couldn't get right, and the Cavs laid it on them and everything.
Talk about this guy for me, because I'll be honest with you. I know the Cavs are 7-6. I have not paid attention as much as I wanted to, but they got a rookie,
won 3 straight.
Craig Porter Jr. Talk to the We Like Sports people about this cat.
Man, that dude is nice.
Where's what kind of player is he? Who is this guy? Where did he come from? Talk. Educate me.
He's an athletic point guard.
Okay.
He played at Wichita State.
The Shockers.
Yes, played at Wichita State. He played, I think, all 4 years. I don't know if he played all 4 years at Wichita State.
Okay.
But he did graduate as a senior from Wichita State. And the thing is, the curve is, where a lot of the kids that don't get drafted come out as seniors, they're more equipped and more mature enough to handle the NBA game because they played for so many years in the college game. And when he's gotten his chance, he's done well.
That's what I
Real.
see. I see his name a
And
lot, and I see a lot of
yes,
people talking about him.
and with Ty Jerome being hurt, I don't know what's going on with him. Porter has shined.
Gosh, I love to see that.
Last two games, he scored in double figures coming off the bench.
I love to see that. I love to see that. Also, too, yesterday in the game, no Donovan Mitchell, correct?
Correct.
But Darius. See, that's the okay. So here's the thing. Now, the whole Garland Mitchell thing. Can they coexist?
I don't know. I'm gonna say this. The one thing I will say, and I like Donovan Mitchell, but it seems like when it's just Darius and the gang,
They're
the
better.
ball moves. The ball moves, and nothing against Donovan. Donovan, the ball sticks.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying, the ball sticks, and sometimes some people be left out. You know, sometimes.
Here's the thing. Okay, so two seasons ago, the Cavs, barely, missed the playoffs. I know they lost, they got the play in or whatever like that, and they lost to Brooklyn and lost to Atlanta at home. But that team, you had Jared Allen and you had Darius Garland, and they won the rookie skills challenge or whatever like that. And I thought, the ball movement that we had, and then we traded for Donovan Mitchell, and yeah, of course we got our 50 wins and things like that. But it just seemed like, to your point, it just seems like we were building something, kind of like the Utah Jazz with Stockton, Malone, and all the other guys ahead, where the ball would move. And then it's like you get Mitchell, and it's like, yeah, you're going to appease him and get the ball because he's such a scorer. But it seems like at the detriment of the development of Mobley, at the detriment of the development of Allen, and kind of the chemistry, it seemed like it got stifled.
Yeah. And also, you also got to look at it with this, like with Mobley, for instance. And I'm going to say this, and people, how can I say it? People might get offended when I say this. I don't think Mobley is that guy.
Okay.
Far as offensively, far as him shoot, all of you hearing him is that he needs to shoot the three and all this stuff, and I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't either.
But Mobley can still get you 18 and 10.
Yes.
Every day.
Yeah.
He can get you 18. He's a double-double now.
Yeah,
with
I agree.
No offensive game.
Yeah.
And I think you just got to let Mobley be him. And then one move they might have to make in the future is they're going to have to probably decide who is going to be the big man in the future. If it's going to be Mobley,
or
Allen.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to get rid of Allen either.
I don't either. He had a great game yesterday too.
Yes. I mean, he brings, because honestly, to be honest, tell you the truth, Allen is more comfortable shooting than Mobley is.
Yeah, he is. I know. That's the thing. We got to get.
And the thing with Mobley is that where people are underestimating the fact is that Mobley is the ultimate team guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to really, how can I say, score big to have an imprint on the game. Yeah. He'll have an imprint playing defense, blocking shots. And people trying to compare him with trying to have him be like Porzingis, Giannis, and I honestly don't think he's ever going to be that.
I don't see him that prolific of a scorer.
Holmgren or somebody. I don't see him be that. He's more like an ilk of like a Bill Russell type guy.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm okay with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that because that dude got 11 rings.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But he's more like a Bill Russell type of guy, and I think eventually he's going to be their 5 in the future.
Okay.
If you can get a bomb-ass power forward, athletic stretch forward that can shoot and all that, the Cavs will be championship ready. And if you do that, because honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth, I don't think Mitchell's long for here. I'm not going to speculate and say.
Okay, so you're saying basically when you figure out that he's not, trade him for some assets that can get you maybe that big 4 that you're talking about.
But the problem is you might not get too many access if he's only
I know
on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those.
Yeah, but if you can get you an athletic four that can shoot and all that to go with Mobley,
LeBron, come home. Right? He solves a lot of problems, doesn't he? Doesn't he not solve a lot of problems?
Yeah, he solves a lot of problems, but now he's about to be 40 years old. But if they
win the
can
East
get
with LeBron, we win the East with LeBron, right?
True. And also, I think eventually, and I'm gonna say this, the guy, your number 2 guard, most likely is going to be Imani Bates if he continues to stay focused.
Okay.
He's going to be your number 2 guard because then it's more of a fit. See, the problem is with Garland and Mitchell is they both 6'1", 6'2".
I know. I need that size to cut. Yeah.
Yeah. They both 6'1", 6'2", and they both gotta have the ball.
Yeah.
Where let's just say Bates keeps balling out for the charge and everything. I think he's gonna probably play more in the rotation in the second half of the year.
I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah.
And he just biding his time basically. But next year, your lineup can look like this next year. And I hate saying next year, but you can have a lineup of Garland, Bates, Strus, Mobley, and whoever you get to play the 4.
Yeah.
Whoever you get to play the 4.
I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. I mean, look, I think sometimes when you stand put and you just hope they're going to get better, I don't know, like you said, with this chemistry, I want to build towards something. And if Mitchell's not going to be here, I kind of want to just see I don't know. I don't want to say get rid of him, but at the same time, like, I don't know, maybe now is better than not getting much for him later on. I don't know.
But I think
maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe he's going to sign. Maybe I hear people all the time. Mitchell's just doing
never
this.
know.
You know, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Because also, if you look at it too, next year that money goes up too.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. And maybe the Knicks will just suck, and he won't even want to go there. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's going to New York is one of those things where LeBron didn't even go to the Knicks. He was smart.
No, he didn't want to go to New York.
Yeah,
he didn't want to go to New York. He he went to Miami and everything. And like one thing I will say about LeBron is, LeBron never picked the automatic destination.
No, you're right.
Think about this. He went to the Cavs, and the Cavs was god awful. He went to Miami when there was a perennial 4, 5, 6 seed.
Yeah.
Where you knew they wasn't going nowhere. Then he came back to Cleveland when we was god awful again.
Yeah.
And then he went to LA, and that was a mess.
Yeah, it was.
That was a mess. You can never say he was a front runner type dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He could have easily went to Golden State, just saying,
right.
Golden State or somewhere like that, or somewhere. Who else was good back then when he left?
Boston. He could have went to Boston.
Could have went to Boston or Philly, somewhere like that.
Yeah. But he chose to, shout out to,
And a lot of that says a lot about LeBron James that he doesn't get credit for. When LeBron comes in, you remember how 50 Cent say, have a baby by me, be a millionaire?
Yeah, have a baby by me, be a millionaire.
Have a bababy by LeBron, you're going to be a contender.
Yeah, well, that's what
you're going to be a contender in whatever conference you win, and on top, because think about that. With this LA team last year, that team stumbled on their wheels till they made them trades.
I know.
The trade deadline, and then all of a sudden, and what people don't realize, them games against Denver were closer than people.
If
LA would have got a break here or there, they could have been champions.
Yeah. I know it's weird to think that they were in the Western Final. I mean, they were not that far off. And
it's weird to think that, but it's true.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it is what it is. But I think we'll hang around probably about another 10 minutes here.
Okay, I gotta do my reel to reel.
Yeah, we gotta do your for real, and I think that's what we're gonna do right now. For now, let's do this.
Okay, for real, for real. I'm going to say this, everybody. And if the Browns continue upon their winning ways, don't be shocked if Kevin is a candidate for Coach of the Year again. And where he has everybody beat is he has the worst quarterback play in the league this year.
Check.
But yet this team is still winning games. And it also shows Kevin and kept this team together because think about this, for real, they have had every reason to fall apart. Every reason. You lose Conklin. Then you lose Nick Chubb in a horrific injury. Then you lose Deshaun Watson for a couple of games. Then you get him back just to lose him again. And Cavs just keep on rolling. I mean, not the Cavs, the Browns. Just keep
Come on, Cavs,
rolling.
gonna make it happen.
Just keep on rolling. Who loses your top 2 tackles, your top probably first ballot Hall of Fame running back? And if he can get it all back together, could be your Hall of Fame quarterback.
Could be. And
you still winning.
That's amazing.
You think about what Kansas City's record would be if Mahomes went down all of a sudden.
Oh, jeez.
Or Philadelphia Eagles record if Jalen Hurts went down for all of a sudden.
Yeah. They wouldn't be 7-3. They wouldn't be 7-3, I'll tell you that.
Or what Cincinnati about to go through now that Joe Burrow is gone.
They better just keep losing.
Kevin just has kept this team together. And also, you got to realize this year, Kevin made key changes within this team. He hired a new special teams coach. He hired a new defensive coordinator. They also got their head out their ass about a draft pick, politics, and got rid of Cade York, sent them packing. They got rid of Cade York, sent them packing. Perrion Winfrey was too much into that off-the-field bullshit. They sent him packing.
Yep.
No distractions, no bullshit with us this year. We got to win games. And what has this team done? Win games.
Well, Keith, I think that was awesome. For real. I'm saying you laid out the case for Kevin Stefanski, and they got to keep winning, obviously. But I think there's a good path for him to get that Coach of the Year, his second one.
Yes, and plus, I ain't gonna lie, Kevin sometimes drives me crazy.
No, I think all coaches do that, though. You ask any fan base, they're gonna go crazy with their coach. I mean, it just happens.
I gotta give him his props where they are due. I gotta give it to him.
Gotta give it to him. Well, I think we're gonna do 2 more segments, and then we'll say sayonara here. But
okay,
gotta do time hop. And I'm going back to 2004 because that's Casey. Shout out to Casey. I don't know if he's softballing it or whatever he's doing, but 2004.
Baker Mayfield is sitting at the dock of the bay.
Yeah, and Miles Straw, Baker Mayfield, mother.
Miles and Baker Mayfield gone fishing.
That's right. So obviously, I don't think there's any way you're going to know who won these games, but I think maybe just use solid logic. We're going to go back to Thanksgiving Day 2004. There was only 2 games, 2 NFL games that day. Obviously, the Lions and the Cowboys played. Mm-hmm. The Lions were the first game, obviously, and they played the Colts. This is 2004, so you can probably imagine who won between the Colts and the Lions on Thanksgiving Day.
The Colts, wasn't them Peyton Manning years?
It was a 41-9 drubbing of the Lions. And then in 2004, obviously, we have the Bears at the Cowboys. Who won?
Dallas won.
Dallas did win that game. You were 2 for 2, Keith. 21-7 over the Bears. Way to go, Keith. So
Bears can't win in Dallas. No, not on Thanksgiving. Hell no. Back then, Indianapolis was like, oh my God,
they were Marvin Harrison, and Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James.
The only nemesis Indianapolis faced then was New England.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're right for that time period. That you're absolutely right. Our final segment that we're going to do today, special one because we have Thanksgiving coming up, but our sports thankful for. So maybe we'll go on. Do you have 3 sports that you're anything in sports that you're thankful for? I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go first.
You can go first.
Okay, we'll go one, and we'll bounce it back off each other. Okay,
Okay,
so I'll go.
Okay.
I am thankful for. I am thankful for the Cleveland Browns not giving up on the season. Now, it's one thing to be 7-3, but I see the fight in this team, and it's fun to watch them play. And I know it's the NFL, and a lot of games are close no matter what. But this team, there's something special about them, and I think Myles Garrett is that very, very special piece that definitely he's now become a locker room presence. It wasn't like not being vocal, but I think he's more vocal than what we have come accustomed to over the past couple of years. And he's definitely taken ownership. No pun intended. I know he owns part of the Cavs now too. But he's definitely taken ownership of this Browns. He is the face of the Cleveland Browns. So I'm going to say one of my things I'm thankful for is the Cleveland Browns and their fight, and they're not giving up on the 2023 season.
Good one. Good choice. Shout out to Myles Garrett.
Yes. Come on the show anytime, Myles. Anytime. You're invited anytime.
Yeah, anytime. You're invited anytime.
Yeah.
You can host
if you want.
My sports thankful for is let's go. Let's see. My sports thankful for is I'm thankful for Ohio State football.
Ooh, nice.
This team, despite losing CJ Stroud, still is undefeated. And I'm going to be honest, earlier this year, I had them losing about 3. Because when I seen the first game, I said, oh my God, there's no way they're going to beat Notre Dame. But they beat them. Shout out to Ryan Day. Thankful for you all. Hopefully, y'all can complete the task against them. Complete the task and make Michigan our itch again.
Nice.
I would say the whole world, but this
go ahead. I don't care.
Make Michigan our bitches again.
That sounds better. I like that.
Yes.
Nice. That's a solid answer. So I'm going to go, okay, now bounce it back to me here. I am sports thankful for, that's a good one. I would say my son and my daughter, because my daughter's a cheerleader and my son does track. He does cross country and he plays basketball, and being able to be around young kids that play sports, that it's not about the money. It's not about, the prime time, it's not about even being talked about much. It's just about just playing sports for the fun of it. And it keeps me young. So I'm thankful that I get to be around sports in a way that it's just watching them have fun and competing. And don't get me wrong, they win. My daughter, she wins state titles at Taze Valley for, cheerleading. And my son, they're a good squad and everything like that, and they win. But it's not about, the winning and the big time levels that we're talking about with Ohio State and the Browns and everything. It's just sports in its basic element. And I'm thankful that I can still be around that at this point in my life.
That's cool. Another thing I like to be thankful for, and this is a 2-prong.
Yep.
I like to be thankful for the fact that my nephew, Chad, made the freshman team.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, Garrett Morgan. He made the freshman basketball team. Congrats to him. Much congrats to him. And also, along with that, I'm grateful for the fact that Glenville is possibly, if they can hold on, possibly can get their second straight state championship, which is something I thought I would never see.
Oh, yeah.
Never see in my life as a Cleveland Metropolitan School District child.
Good for you. And my dad is one as well. D. John Marshall, the lawyer. Shout out to D. John Marshall.
Yes, and I went to Glenville's arch rival back then, Lincoln West. Because we got bused, and I stay right down the street from Glenville, actually, matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
So we got bused, so I had to get sent over to the west side and everything. But, as time, they figured it out and everything.
Yeah.
And now Cleveland is open enrollment and stuff. But shouts out to Glenville for providing good football memories. Because, man, back in the days when I was coming up, our schools couldn't compete against a lot of these schools back then. Mm-hmm. But Ted Ginn saw the vision. Shout out to him. He saw the vision, and he literally saved my son's life on top of that, too.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Because my son went there from Euclid school system where my son wasn't doing too well, and he got his stuff together. So
good.
I'm thankful for Glenville, too, and everything. And I wish them all the success.
Yes, go Tar Butters.
These next 2 weeks. Well, actually, first, this game on Friday against
Who they got again on Friday?
They got Canton South on Friday.
Okay.
So good luck to the Tar Butters.
Yes. Thank you, Coach Ginn, for what you do for the Ohio State University. When Tressel was there, you were the bloodline that pumped all those athletes, especially your son, Ted Ginn Jr. So, thank you.
Yes. All right.
My number one, or I'll say, I'll put it number one. I will say number one that I'm most sports thankful for. You, Keith, you, We Like Sportz, you being able to come on here and being able to talk to you guys and be able to have a platform. And I know Locked On Sports 216 but all your homies and everything that you give me a shot to come on and everything. So I appreciate you, Keith Allen, for making this a fun and enjoyable ride.
Thank you. My last one. Thankful for Vince, y'all welcome me in and everything, at first, because Vince hit me up. He was like, would you be interested in coming on? We Like Sportz Show?
With who?
With who? Okay. And actually thankful for all the people y'all have introduced me to, like Matt in Baltimore.
Yeah, shout out Matt Trigger.
Matt Trigger and stuff. My cat Hurricane in Pittsburgh. Hurricane, I told you.
Hurricane.
I told you we was gonna get y'all. And I'm appreciative that y'all done opened some new doors and stuff for me and stuff like that. And I'm very, very thankful. Very thankful for you to put my input. And think about this. I never thought I'd be with you interviewing guys from California.
I know. Yeah. I mean, exactly. Like, this is a fun ride. Yes.
Texas. Oh my man. And
New York. We had the guy from Sports Illustrated on to New York. And then we had Del Do It from Cincinnati. I mean, we've had them all.
Yes. And to think that Hurricane could get Bernie on there. Oh man.
We're gonna have a fun 2024. I'll tell you that.
Yes, sir. Definitely. A lot more to come. Definitely a lot more to come. And I'd like to thank you for coming in also on the pinch for me for Locked On Sports and the Browns pregame and postgame.
Keith. That is my fun time. As much as I have to put the show together and things like that. That one, you do your thing. You have your top fives and everything. I come in there, run my mouth, have fun. It's game day, and that to me, that it's a calming influence right before the Browns game. So I thank you for having me on. And plus the post game, we like to have fun on the post game, especially we had fun yesterday. So check out the Locked On Sports 216. Noons for the pregame, and then 30 minutes after for the postgame.
Yes, sir. High noon for the pregame and 30 minutes, which will probably be about 7:30.
That's okay. We're going to celebrate a victory. Celebrate a mile-high victory. A mile-high victory.
Yes.
We're going to do that. But I want to say, everybody, thanks for tuning into the We Like Sportz Show. Also, everybody, have a happy Thanksgiving, too. Spend time with your family. We like sports, but we also like family. Spend time with your family. But, also enjoy the games over. You obviously got your NFL games on Thursday, and then your college football this weekend, big one Saturday, and then back to NFL on Sunday. So, hey, enjoy your family. That's what it's all about. I want to thank Keith, my co-host, for having a great show today, and I'm definitely thankful for him. I'm thankful for Peyton Vince, Casey, CJ, all of them. I know Drew, I always forget people, and I apologize for that. But thank you, everybody. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Tune in next week. I think we might have to go on a different day than Monday. I'm not sure yet. Might have to go on Tuesday.
Let me know.
I'm sure I'll get back with you guys. But yeah, we'll see you either next Monday or Tuesday at 5:30. Got plenty to talk about, but check us out on Locked On Sports 216 this Sunday for Browns coverage. So until then, we'll see you when we see you. Yep. Have a good one, guys.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Peace out.
Yes.